Hello, Potato, and welcome to another episode of the Happy Haunt Hunt for 2025. We've done gravestones, we've done ornaments. This video is not about ornaments, although technically it's about an ornament. There's an ornament in it, but it's not a Hallmark ornament. It's not part of the interactive Haunted Mansion series, although I don't know why it's called interactive. It's not, pressing a button is interacting, I suppose. But I mean, it doesn't prompt you to do anything. It doesn't do anything in response to you other than turn on or off. Anyways, sorry, I'm rambling. We are looking at another selection of Haunted Mansion goodies. Yes, it is still July, but there's always room for some grim grinning ghosts in my heart. This time, it's all from Disneystore.com. I will never not call it Shop Disney at some point in a conversation about it. They have been pumping out Haunted Mansion stuff for about the last month now. They've done 3 or 4 different releases. We previously did look at a couple pins, and they released more since then. They released another $130 pin for the Disneyland 70th, and I didn't buy that one. I could have, but I didn't. It didn't have Hatbox Ghost on it. There was a complimentary pin that went with it, not complimentary as in free, but complimentary as in it complemented it. Done in the same style of Hatbox in that kind of cartoony blue look that we saw in the $100 pin. But I did pass on that. We did get some pins, but that's another video. Today is non-pin things we just received from Disneystore.com. First off, now, usually I do not open things, but I did this time because I wanted to make sure they were not damaged before I did the video. Not so much because I'm worried about showing damaged things on the video. We've certainly done that before. But I want to make sure that we can order replacements in time, just in case they sell out. Although something we probably couldn't have replaced is our first item. This is my wife's. And it's a thing that we generally don't go for, but it is the Starbucks tumbler. Yes, they released a Haunted Mansion Starbucks tumbler. Got the little bat chain holder there as the sipper cover. And it is done up in a glossy rendition of the Haunted Mansion's infamous wallpaper. This is, I think, just a cold mug. Decent seal on it. Yeah, just cold. Kind of an air gap in there. I like it with the lid fits on it. Now, I would never use this myself. I usually only take hot coffee with me. I usually don't bring iced coffee with me. And if I do, I do have like a vacuum flask style plastic Starbucks one from years ago that I could just use as well as this. But yeah, we did pick up the Haunted Mansion. This was so interesting thing we discovered when we ordered this. In the past, I have complained mightily about Disneystore.com's waiting rooms, virtual queues. And I think they finally got to a good point. So when this came out, normally in the past, and this may have been fixed a while ago, I just haven't bought anything that was the big hot must-have item. Although you'd think that limited edition, like LE 1000 $100 pin would have been that. But maybe I just haven't bought anything that is like the thing for a while. But in the past, when the thing came out, be it a doll, be it Mickey Mouse, the main attraction, they essentially would lock down the entire site. So that if you went there for anything, even if you weren't interested in the thing, you got stuck in the waiting room and had to wait there for an interminable amount of time to try to make an order. This time, the waiting room only popped up if you clicked on this. All the other Haunted Mansion stuff that came out that day was not part of that. It just happened to come, and I think in a way to try to combat resellers and their bots, you had to do a CAPTCHA. Now, I'm not a fan of doing CAPTCHAs, but it was just, the standard text CAPTCHA. It wasn't the spot everything that is an ionic column kind of a thing. But, just a basic one. I'm sure there are plenty of bots that get around it, but it was nice to see them making the effort. And it was nice to see it only affecting this item. And yeah, it's nice. Good solid metal construction. 2025 Starbucks Corporation on the bottom, I'm sure made in China. Manufactured for Starbucks. They put the sticker over where it's made, but I'm sure it's China. oh good, it does have the little thing on it to keep the straw from falling out. So yeah, this one's solely my wife's, but yeah, we had a chance to get it, so why not? We do not normally buy the Disney cold tumblers, but this one's Haunted Mansion, which makes it special. Now the rest of these are more in my category, and it's a thing that, the next thing is the thing I said that I would not be collecting, and I'm not collecting them, but it's a thing that honestly I would have liked to have found 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. It's been 3 years since Disneyland. So when we went to Disneyland in 2022, they had just introduced MagicBand to the West Coast. Indeed, we'd gone that spring and they weren't there. We went that winter and they were. And I picked up this one. Yeah, we put it back in the original box. Not because I necessarily was in love with it or anything, but because it was the only Haunted Mansion band on offer. And it's cute. It's got the stretching room. And I want to say they've slightly redone this design for a 55th anniversary release of the MagicBand, which I think is almost identical. Some coloring differences, and it says like 55 right there. It was limited release. I did not know that. Doesn't really mean, isn't everything a limited release? Oh, sorry. So, yeah, it served me well. It did its purposes. It got us into and out of the park, and it did stuff in different rides and at parades, and did bounty hunting with it. It was cool. But it wasn't really what I had wanted. Well, part of this year's Haunted Mansion releases gave me what I was really looking for. So, even though I do not collect MagicBands, I've said this before, I will probably say it again, I did buy this one. We'll go back eventually, hopefully. And this one's much more in line with what I was looking for. First of all, we have Hatbox Ghost. And a very creepy rendering of him as well. And then as a bonus, we have Madame Leota on the face and a very almost zombie-looking Constance. And it is pre this year's Constance because it does have the hatchet. She doesn't look like a bored woman with a floral bouquet anymore. She does still look like Black Widow Constance, which is my preference to bored tragic Constance that we have now. And although I'm not against Beating Heart Bride Classic, the one that I think is still in Tokyo Disney, I'm not against that either. But yeah, this was really nice. I don't know when I'll get to use it. With my luck, they'll switch to MagicBand Plus 2 or something by then, but yeah, this is what pretty much more like what I was looking for when we got this back in 2022. So if we do get to go back to the park, I am ready. Just got to sync it up to my account and we're good to go. Our last two items come in boxes. These are things that I have opened. First, let's start with our ornament. So last year, they started releasing these kind of glass domed ornaments. I'm not a huge fan of glass ornaments. They don't sit out because, well, those ones from last year, the stretching portraits, which are available again this year, they're on the site again, need to hang. They are not flat on the bottom. You cannot sit them on a shelf. You must hang them. And also, one of them did come broken last year. So this year, as soon as we got it, I did pop this open, take a look to see this year's glass ornament. Honestly, I wasn't sure if I had already had this or not. But I looked through my videos, and I don't see a video on it, so I don't think I did it. Which means I don't think I have it, because if I had it, I'd have done a video on it. But that is a new Haunted Mansion glass domed ornament. The sole living denizens of the mansion, the caretaker. And well, let me turn this light off here. There we go. Maybe you can actually, yeah, you're still getting glare, but maybe you can see it. So we have a nice rendering of the caretaker and their dog in front of the fence. He looks a little shocked. I wish I could put better lighting on this for you, but then it would glare off the glass even more. And was this supposed to, I believe, do like light up? Yeah. It's a very, you can see it down there. It's a fairly weak light. It creates, I think, the impression of his lantern being lit. No, the bottom of I would have thought they'd have made the bottom of the lantern clear so the light could shine up into it and make it look more illuminated, but they have not done that. Still nice sculpted, especially for how small it is. How there's a good amount of detail in the face there. His eyes are a little googly, but I mean, who's gonna like sit there and like stare at his eyes? They're actually, now looking, they're kind of crooked, but still, you're gonna look at this from a distance. But I do like that we've gone back to flat bottoms, so I can set it down. And also I see now, I realize another thing that I've liked when they started doing this a few years ago on Disney ornaments is it's removable. You can just have it on your shelf as a glass ball like that. Now it is going to hang by a bit of molten glass or formerly molten glass here. So that's consideration. If you're putting it somewhere where it's going to get blown by a fan or something, that may stress that point and break it. We do have, though, much like last year, we had some of the elements to the ornaments on the outside of the glass. We do that again to good effect. Although the middle of the tree doesn't look like great. That's a little weak. But I guess, again, who's going to look at the ornament from this angle? Sitting on a table on a shelf, that isn't going to be noticeable at all. Yeah, I like it. But I like that we've gone back to something I can set down on a table. I don't need to have ornament danglers or indeed put it on a tree. And I like that we can remove the that. So I can put that back in the box and put it away and just have this piece on display on its own. Makes a jingle. So that's quite nice. Quite nice. And we have one more item today. This is going to be a much shorter video than the ornament one. But also just less to look at with these things. I am going to take these ornaments down though. If I want to record anything other than Haunted Mansion stuff, I do need more space here. But I thought we'd enjoy them for one week. Oh, actually we can look at them right next to each other. I hadn't even thought about that. He's kind of tethered down though. But yeah. I mean, his coloring's a little darker. He's got purple pants instead of khakis. But yeah, I think a good likeness. They do look similar to each other in an appropriate way. I'm going to turn the light off on this just because I will forget to turn it off. The battery will die. And yeah, that won't be any good for anybody. Now our last thing is in this box. And while I have opened it and checked it out, the way it is in the box now is exactly the way it arrived, which is to say upside down. I mean, any rational person, I can turn this light back on. Any rational person is going to look at this and say, this is up, right side up. Not Disney, because it's in there upside down, and it is the hitchhiking ghosts in a doom buggy. You know, I love my light up blinky things. And they have a big version of this too for $80, like a yawn. It's going to be yard/lawn decoration. Oh, it has batteries in it already. That's great. A yard or lawn decoration version of this for like $80. But honestly, I'm good with this. I've already got the giant Mickey lanterns from last year. We're keeping an eye out. Costco's supposed to have a mini lantern this year. We're keeping an eye out for. But I'm good with just a small version of this. Let's activate it. So it has a timer or just this. So you can try for either half an hour or an hour. Yeah, that's all it does. It just lights up. Oops, that was the wrong button. Turn some lights down in here, just so we can get a better effect of it. There we go. I think you can see, we've gone this far. Let's turn them all off. There we go. Now you get the full effect of it. So yeah, we do have Ezra, Phineas, and Gus riding in the doom buggy, looking for someone to follow home. He looks, I'm getting like Jack Black vibes off of him. He looks suitably creepy and like fat, and he also looks suitably creepy. But it's nice, solid vinyl construction. I do like these like vinyl light up things. It's nice. Feels sturdy for what it is. It doesn't blink or anything. It doesn't change colors, which I mean, I don't know if those would have been pluses or not. Here's the other setting. It just turns on for a different amount of time. So this should shut itself off. So I guess if you're gonna like have a Halloween party and stick it up on a shelf, you don't need to worry about climbing back up there like later on when you're maybe inebriated turn it off, it'll have turned itself off. But of course, if your party lasts longer than an hour, that's going to be annoying. But it's nice, and it is our first batch of Haunted Mansion things straight from Disney, not from Lowe's, not from Hallmark, but from Disney themselves. And I'm sure it'll be the first of multiple. In fact, I know multiple, because we will have another Happy Haunt Hunt video maybe next week. Yeah, we got a new ornament, a new MagicBand, a cup, and the hitchhiking ghosts. Obviously, what more can you ask for? But the obvious answer to that is the Hatbox Ghost, which we didn't get any of today. Oh, no, take it back, we did. He's on the MagicBand, isn't he? So yeah, what more could you ask for? So if you picked up anything from Disney's new Haunted Mansion releases, what has been your favorite? I mean, there's still stuff I want. There's definitely, I still want that Jim Shore Hitchhiking Ghosts statue. But there's still plenty of stuff I do want to get, but how much I actually will get, well, who knows. But yeah, what have you picked up so far? What do you think I should get? What has been your favorite thing? And is this not the best Haunted Mansion MagicBand usable on the West Coast yet? Let me know in the comments, but I hope you found this all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.